April 9th, 2024, 11 a.m. I did miss a check-in last night. So the last time we did this was April 8th, 6 a.m. So it's been 5 on 24 is 29 hours since the last check-in. The cursory glance shows no real changes from what we would expect. This thing possibly got slightly larger. This is, of course, the Coloplast Brava 12036. That is for size comparison, where we started and where we ended up. The water is clear, so I'm not seeing any deterioration of the actual materials breaking down. It's just the bafflingly absorbent nature of this ring that has me a little perplexed. Obviously, if you were to put that on and it were to expand to that point, you would have a lot of skin exposed, which of course goes against the whole point of having a barrier ring. So I don't know how good a job that would do at protecting you. Next, we'll take a look at the Coloplast Brava 120307. Oh, dropped some of the water on the ground. That's helpful. Alright, there's a before and after shot of these two. They are roughly the same size. I would say there's probably about 50% more growth, expansion going out. And the ring in the center, the hole in the center, has definitely enlarged as well. So you could face some of the same problems if you put it on and then it expanded. The water is clear. I'm not showing any signs of deterioration or anything of that nature. The edges are all smooth and clean, just like the other Coloplast Brava we looked at. So as far as breaking down in water, I'm not seeing much on either of those two fronts. But again, the absorption and size is a little on the alarming side. If they were indeed to be affixed to a wafer and then that happened, we could be seeing a slightly different result. This is not necessarily a test to determine whether they get big or not, but whether or not they simply break down in water. The Eakins Cohesive is unfortunately one I don't have a sample to show before of, but it is definitely, there's a lot. You can see how murky the water is by the fact you can't see my glove anymore underneath like you could in the other ones. There's a lot of sediment at the bottom and just floating in, and it is, to its credit, the center circle that was cut out is roughly the same size, so theoretically it would be protecting you on that front, but I don't know if it would be wearing away in a different pattern if it were attached to a wafer, so it's hard to say. But as far as the purpose of this experiment, it is being affected by the water. It is deteriorating and falling apart from exposure to water, and that is our primary concern with this specific experiment. I would love to run this experiment a second time. I don't know if I could get the necessary components from the companies again. Maybe if I gave it enough time and asked again, they would be willing to send me out something. Here we have the Osteoform FlowAssist OFA-M. I don't know if I actually said, the last one was the Eakins Cohesive 839005. Just in case I forgot to mention that, but now we're on to the Osteoform FlowAssist OFA-M. Here is a before and after comparison, and I'm pretty sure the new one, or the unused one, would fit inside the center of the one that's been exposed to water. So it has shown a lot of enlargement, just like its coloplast friend, the Brava 1203-6. But as stated before, the intention of this experiment was, did it degrade in water? The answer is no. It's expanded, yes, but the materials have not degraded in water. They're still smooth around the edges. It's quite enlarged, but the water does not appear to be causing it to break down. But the absorption of water is concerning, naturally. We'll go to the Hollister Adapt Sarah Ring 8805. Let's grab the before. Here, put this one down. Put this in this hand. There we go. And this one just reminds me kind of a galaxy for some reason. I don't think you get to see the same thing I see with the angle that the camera's at, but there is a comparison here of before and after. It's taken on a lot of water and expanded, and I'm seeing a lot of breakdown, jagged edges present. The water is definitely been discolored with the materials bleaching out into the water, so it does seem to be breaking down pretty much at this point. But it has also been several days of constant exposure to fluid, so that's also something to keep in mind. But I mean, we're all facing the same trial here, and some of them are just holding up far better than the others. How long has it been? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I missed one. So this is day 6. This is the 6th day. Okay. So it's coming along. We got one more day, and then I'll figure out how I want to end this video, as far as if we're going to pull them out and lay them down onto something and take a look at them. I think that might be a good idea. I'll play with that theory in just a moment. For now, Hollister Adapt 7805. There is a before and after. The center cut circle is roughly the same size as the original. It has expanded a bit, like I would say maybe to the 25 or between 25 and 50% larger. I'm pretty sure it got a little bit thicker as well. We'll investigate that closer later on. The edges are not as smooth as some of the other ones, but far, far smoother than the Sarah Ring 8805 we were just looking at. I am seeing discoloration in the water, meaning something is leaching out of this material and into the water. Something's being taken away. So from that aspect, there is breakdown, but I would feel pretty good about this ring if I had it on my body, which, full disclosure, I do. And I think that's one of the reasons I haven't had issues myself with water breakdown when I'm wearing this particular one. But we're going to treat them all unbiasedly and see how they go. My front runners are still the Coloplast Brava 120307. That one's doing a great job. The water's clear. There's no breakdown that I can see. Some enlargement that's occurred, but no actual deterioration of the ring is going on. The Hollister Adapt would be my second place because it's still roughly the same size. There's a little deterioration going on with that. The water is a little discolored, but again, roughly the same size. That circle in the center, still roughly the same size, which is important when we're talking about bigger rings and trying to prevent, output on the actual body. So they both have pretty strong. The Ekins, it's broken down too, but that circle on the inside isn't too bad. There's a lot of sediment. Like, that's the thing I'm not seeing in the Hollister is that this one has like so much, like you can see small pieces of it just laying on the bottom of the water, and chunks kind of floating in the water itself. This one here, this one's not holding up well at all. Like it's in a syrup at this point. Like that fluid that is in there is very much a syrup. Kind of like snot at this point. And there's a lot of deterioration. We've got jagged edges, and it is breaking down. It's interesting to see the disparity in the overall. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but the ability for it to keep itself together between the two Hollister products. The Sara ring seems to be breaking down much faster than the regular Adapt non-Sara ring. And then, of course, we've got these other two that are just insanely large. The Coloplast and the Osteoform. I don't know what to make of that, and I don't know what that says for protection. And again, if these were stuck to a wafer, would they have expanded as far? I don't know. But going into this experiment, my intention was never what will happen, like will they grow? It never occurred to me that that would happen, to be quite honest. Like, I never foresaw something like that happening. I saw that as a possibility. The breakdown, the sediments, all that other stuff, but to keep its original shape, but balloon out to 200 or 300 times its original size, I genuinely did not see that coming. So we'll have to check in later and see what happens. Thanks.